The Ann Arbor Art Fair starts in less than a week.
And the CBS News Detroit team will be there live, bringing you all of it.
Today, we have a little preview of some of the art that will be on display. Joining us tonight in the studio is local artist Crystal Cerna. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So she was just telling me before we came back from the commercial break, you've only been doing this for several years. It looks like you've been doing this for a lifetime. How'd you get into it?
Well, I've wanted to be an artist my entire life, but it's not the most practical career. And so I got into it after my children were grown and, a little less pressure on supporting a number of people. And I went to art school, got my degree, and have been a full-time artist since I graduated.
Wow, is this your first year in the Ann Arbor Art Fair?
No, actually, I participated in their Emerging Artist program back when I was in art school. And so this is my first year coming back. So it's like really special for me to come back because it feels like a homecoming.
Yeah. How big a deal is the art fair and art fairs in general to artists to get your work seen and to really just be in that community?
Well, this art fair itself is the largest juried art fair in the country. It's huge, about 1,000 artists. Artists travel from around the country to show their stuff. People travel from around the country to buy it. Mm-hmm. But there are a group of artists like myself who wholly support ourselves by traveling around and showing our artwork. It's another alternative to the gallery system. So it's almost like setting up your own little retail shop each weekend in a different city.
Yeah. People are coming to buy the artwork. Is that the main place you're meeting your clients, your customers, and people are finding out about your work?
It is. I do sell from my website, but usually the first meeting is at an art fair, and people love to come and see who it is that's making their art.
And now when you are at an art fair and you have a customer, do you find that they become a repeat customer? Do you find that they refer you to their friends in another city that you're going to? How does that work?
It tends to be a little of both.
Okay.
I like to keep in touch with the people who buy from me, so I send out a newsletter. And a lot of them will be repeat buyers for maybe the line of Christmas cards I do every winter and that sort of thing. Or I'll see them annually at the show in their area. But there's also been lots of times when someone just shows up out of the blue and says, "Oh, so-and-so from Ohio told me to come see you."
So tell us about your work. Would we consider this still life? What inspires you, and what's the theme among these pieces we're looking at today?
Okay, so I actually like to paint things that have a transparent or reflective quality to them. So I brought some paintings from my newest series of flowers in glass vases because I love to paint the glass and I love bold color too. Mm-hmm. So what really inspires me with the glass is that it forces me to separate what my mind is telling me I'm looking at, like this is a vase, as opposed to the actual shapes and colors that my eyes see. So you've really got to get focused in there on what you're painting. And I just find it such a good exercise for being focused, and it carries over into all parts of my life.
Yeah.
It's almost a meditative process.
Now, when you are painting, do you have a vision or are you actually looking at something?
A little of both.
Okay.
With these, I usually have a picture in my mind of what I want it to look like at the end. And so for these, once I've got that idea, I have a collection of glass vases. I look through those. I buy lots of flowers, gather lots of photographs of flowers, and kind of cobble together my reference material. So very rarely is it something I'm making out of whole cloth in my head and then just sitting down and painting it. I do use a lot of reference, especially for the glass.
I noticed on your website you have a lot of candy and translucent wrappers as well. How do you get that reflection down? Even this piece we're looking at with the sort of sun flares. I know you're not staring into the sun to get that right.
No.
So how do you turn that into the work that we're looking at here?
So with the glass, I work as small as sometimes a square inch. When I first started, I would gather everything, create my references, get it into a photo, and actually block out everything I wasn't working on just so I could see that one tiny area and just paint the shapes that I see in there. Now I'm able to, just look at my photo at once and drill down. But it's really just a matter of focus and training the eye to see shapes and colors instead of things.
Yeah. Is that what you got from your education was the ability to focus like that? I find that so fascinating.
Yes, I got my art degree at Eastern Michigan, and regardless of what you wanted to specialize in, you took a set of core classes and they taught you those sorts of skills.
Yeah. So a piece like these in front of us, how long did it take you to put these together?
That's such a good question. I don't time myself because doing art fairs for a living is like running your own business.
Mm-hmm.
So I rarely get to sit down at my canvas for hours on end. I might be like filling orders or getting ready for a show, working on my website. And it can take anywhere from maybe a couple days up to a couple weeks, depending on the size, the complexity, and luck.
Yeah. Well, it's incredible. When you do go to art fairs, is there something that people typically gravitate towards?
This is the first time I'm going to be showing the flowers. So don't know what that reaction is going to be yet. But like you were saying on my website with the candy wrappers and stuff, I have a lot of children running up and going, candy! And then they usually walk out, with a print for their bedroom or something. But the food was really drawing a lot of people, draws the kids, and then the adults come in and look at the wrappers, and that's what they like to see.
I was just going to ask, especially the Ann Arbor Art Fair being the largest in the country, how do you differentiate yourself? Because there's so many. I've been there year after year, and it can be overwhelming. I might walk by you and not even be aware of what I'm seeing. So how do you differentiate yourself?
Well, there's a lot of thought that goes into how you actually set up your booth. And, there's rules and wisdom about where you put your brightest colors or your showstoppers and that sort of thing. And a lot of it is the luck of the draw. With large art fairs like this, I know I'm not going to see everybody who comes through. But, I do this every weekend throughout the summer and fall, and it all balances out. And I do end up getting to meet a ton of great people.
Yeah, that's the great thing about the fair, just kind of browsing around and seeing what stands out to you.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. This is Crystal Cerna, and CBS News Detroit will be live at the Ann Arbor Art Fair starting July 18th. You can watch that on air and online on CBSDetroit.com, the CBS News app, or Pluto TV. And that is running Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Ann Arbor. Hope you have a great time this year, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to gravitate to the flowers.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. That does it for us at 7. We'll see you back here tonight for CBS News Detroit at 11.